Please, God.
This is God.
Well, guys, the Explorer 4 here, HorrorBoy465. Welcome back to some more reviews, and I have no clue how I'm shooting this video right now. First of all, before I get into it, I actually might be coughing a little bit in this video. For some reason, I have a little bit of a cough right now. I have no clue. I have a little bit of a cough right now. So you guys might be hearing a little bit of coughing in this video. So apologize for that. But I literally have no clue how I'm doing this video right now. I really don't. This computer is the computer that was rained on. And I mean, there was gallons of water coming from the sky. I mean, bad storm. My computer was completely soaked. And, you know, I actually did some research, and you're not supposed to press the power button on a computer when, you know, water spilled on it or anything like that. But I actually made the mistake by doing that, and, you know, it fired up for a little bit, but then it actually, like, flashed off, and, you know, I was a little bit concerned about that. You know, I thought it was actually dead. I thought this computer was dead, and it was never going to fire up again. But somehow today, I just by chance, because these past couple of weeks, I've been putting this computer on the charger. Excuse me. I've been putting this computer on the charger, and it hasn't been doing anything. No lights flashing. It wasn't charging. It was acting like it was completely dead. And somehow today, I put the charger on it, and it started charging. And I was like, what? It's charging? So I let it charge for a little bit. Didn't get my hopes up too high because I didn't know if my computer was messed up or anything like that. Fired it up. It was a little bit slow at first. Took a little bit for me to get into websites again and open up apps and stuff like that. But when it started getting going, it worked really good. And yeah, the computer somehow is alive. I have no clue how this computer is alive because first of all, it got water on it from the rain. Second of all, I actually made a mistake by pressing the power button when you're not supposed to. You're supposed to wait till it dries out to try and power it up again. So I have no clue at all how I'm making this video right now on this computer. But finally getting to the review part, I figured that since my computer is up and running again, working fine, and I figured that since it's up and running again, I should get back to doing some more reviews. You guys will be seeing a couple more reviews after this. I want to review some of the Kong movies in that box that Steve sent me. I also do want to see The Prowler and watch that and review it. I have Dog Soldiers lined up as well, so eventually I'll be doing a review on Dog Soldiers. But today I wanted to do a review on Terror Train. Terror Train is a film that Steve had sent me. Really appreciate it, man. And it's a movie that I've been really wanting to see for a while now. Heard a lot of good things about this movie. Heard it was actually a pretty fun slasher flick, so I wanted to give it a watch. And I have to say, very, very well done slasher film. It's definitely its own sort of thing. I think this movie is very well done. You know, I think it's a very fun, entertaining slasher flick. I think it's the most different one. I think it's like one that stands out amongst the others. It's definitely got its own ideas to its own setting, its own theme to it. I really enjoy that. I enjoy the fact that it takes place on a train. You actually do have a really good cast in this movie. I mean, of course, you got Jamie Lee Curtis, but you've also got, excuse me, you've also got David Copperfield in this movie. When you have David Copperfield in a movie, a slasher film, you know it's going to be a fun time. And, you know, he actually didn't do that bad of an acting job in this movie. You know, he sort of plays this magician on this train doing tricks and stuff like that. So what's really cool about this movie is that you'll have the slasher running around killing people, and you'll have a magic show going on with David Copperfield. So, you know, it's a win-win. You get David Copperfield, you get your slasher stuff, so it's pretty good in that stuff too. But it's also a very well directed, very well shot, very well made movie. I really enjoyed the dark atmosphere of the train. Very well shot location. The train is definitely a darkened atmosphere. It's definitely very claustrophobic. And I've been actually on a train before, and I always wonder if they made a scary movie about a train. I know there was a movie called like Train. Like I seen that movie. I think it's like it reminded me of if Hostel was on a train. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to watch that movie again because I'm not sure if that fits too well. But I think it was just called Train, and I remember it being like Hostel on a train. That's what I thought of it when I first seen it. But it's been a while since I've seen that movie. And there's also the Midnight Meat Train. I've seen that movie as well. I actually really enjoyed that movie. I'm not really too sure about any other movies I've seen that takes place on a train, like excuse me, slasher films or horror films. I'm not really too sure about that. I think just the Midnight Meat Train and Train. Those are really the only ones I've seen that like scary movies on a train. Until of course I've seen Terror Train. And I have to say it's a very well made movie. I think that it's a very high quality slasher film. I mean the acting's great, the story is pretty good, the characters are actually pretty diverse. You got different kind of characters in this movie. Really there's only like 2 bad actors in the movie. And I think it was like the lead jerk guy and his girlfriend, I believe. Yeah, I think it was his girlfriend. Those 2 were terrible actors because the main jerk guy screams like a freaking little girl, which it's funny to see, but the way it's done in the movie is it's kind of bad as acting is. And then his girlfriend's just very, forcing lines out like. She's trying to be Jamie Lee Curtis's friend, but I really did not buy it. Her just performance was like, "Hi, I'm your best friend. I'm your best friend. Hi, I'm your best friend." That's all I got from that performance. It wasn't like, "Hey, what's up?" No, it was, I'm your best friend. I'm your best." That's just how she talked. Like she talked like she was forcing it. So I really didn't buy that that friendship with Jamie Lee Curtis and her best friend. But, however, the rest of the actors in the movie do a fantastic job. The movie is pretty much about, at the beginning of the movie, you have these college freshmen. You have them wearing these hats that indicate that they're still virgins. And this one guy, sort of like a nerdy guy, kind of got a little bit of deja vu of Slaughter High because that goes the same thing. A nerdy kid that gets picked on and eventually snaps and kills people. Kind of got deja vu of that, but of course this came out way before Slaughter High. This came out in 1980. It's a 5.9 on IMDb. Directed by Roger Spottiswoode. It's written by T.Y. Drake. Excuse me. Roger Spottiswoode, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. I guess he's the director of Turner and Hooch, Air America, The Sixth Day with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Tomorrow Never Dies. So he's actually made some movies I'm pretty familiar with. The Journey Home. Pretty a lot of movies I've seen. Shoot to Kill. Under Fire. Stop When My Mom Will Shoot, that Sylvester Stallone movie. He directed that movie. So I'm actually pretty familiar with this guy's work. So he actually does some pretty good movies after this. And this is also just a very well directed, very well themed, very well shot movie. The story, like I said, this kid, he's getting picked on. He gets pranked by this jerk guy, and Jamie Lee Curtis is sort of involved in that prank because the nerdy kid, is actually pretty attracted to her, and they put a fake corpse in the bed and prank this kid. He snaps, and excuse me, and it's, I believe, 4 years or 3 years later, senior year. They're taking this trip on a train, And it's kind of a spoiler, but I don't know. I guess you could say it's a spoiler. That kid that snapped is now on the train, and he's wearing that mask, and he's also wearing that mask. He also wears a lizard costume. So this is like a killer that he switches costumes a lot in the movie, which it is a decent idea. It made it different. It wasn't just a solid one costume for the killer. He was making it to where it was in different costumes. I don't know. I think honestly, I prefer just to be that costume. I think that costume right there is great. Just the way that it looks, pretty creepy look, pretty menacing. This also, the sort of old lady, old witch mask he wears, definitely a creepy look as well. Didn't really think the lizard costume was that creepy though. So I don't know. Honestly, if I had to choose between that and that, I would choose that. It's a little bit more iconic looking. Whenever I think about Terror Train, now I think about that costume more than anything. Also, the twist at the end of the movie was definitely a very interesting one. It's like you think it's one person, but it ends up being the psycho kid. I'll get to that a little bit more in detail a little bit later. But yeah, I mean, people are on this train, they're partying, there's magic shows going on, there's people getting drunk, people getting high, typical slasher film stuff. And there's also a killer on the train killing people. This is where we fall into some of the problems of the movie. Like I said, the movie has a decent score, a very well directed atmosphere, very well written story, very interesting new approach to a slasher film, very, very well done setting. All that stuff was nailed. Acting was pretty good. Characters were actually their own diverse characters. They had different personalities and different characteristics, so I really appreciated that. It's just it's the slasher film part that kind of disappointed me, because really there's maybe one death scene in the movie that I probably even thought was just okay or decent. And that was the death scene of this character, the killer, where he falls off the train and hits the ice below and it breaks him in a million pieces pretty much. The rest of the death scenes, they're kind of cutaways, or you don't see it. You just sort of see the after effect. He takes a guy and shoves his head in the mirror and kills him, but you don't really see it. You just see the after effect with blood and stuff like that. There's a guy that gets decapitated, but you don't see it. It's off camera. His head just falls out of this compartment. This one girl, I think she gets cut right here in her throat, if I'm mistaken. This other guy gets stabbed, I think right here in the heart, if I'm mistaken either. You don't really see those death scenes either. And the rest of them are just cutaways, or you don't really see it. One guy, I think he gets an axe in his chest or something like that, but you don't really see it. So yeah, a lot of the death scenes you don't see. A lot of them are cutaways and just after effects. Somebody, the camera zooms and pans, and then there's somebody with a knife in them or something like that, or there's a dead body right there. You don't actually see the actual death scene. So that was pretty disappointing. Excuse me. That was pretty disappointing. I don't know why it's burped there. Man, I'm a mess in this review. But where was I at? That just distracted me. Oh yeah. The death scenes kind of lackluster. Makeup effects are okay, I guess. They're not bad. You just don't really see that much makeup effects in the movie. That's probably one of the bigger problems, is that the body count really isn't much, and you don't really see any death scenes. You don't really see any blood, hardly. I don't know if that's because of the MPAA, but it's really not that much of a bloody movie. I mean, you just see quick cuts or, after effects, after the death scene or something like that. So yeah, makeup effects and death scenes are pretty weak, but like I said, as far as the story goes and the acting, I mean, very well done performances by Jamie Lee Curtis. The main killer is actually pretty interesting. How he you found that you think that he just does nerdy kid that stabs, but actually there's more to it. I think you actually found that he was already a psycho, but he had already killed somebody before, but that corpse prank made him snap even more, so it made him even more crazy. So I like that aspect as well. I like how David Copperfield is in this movie because first of all, his acting is pretty good. Second of all, he's over here doing magic for like 20 minutes of the movie. And when you can do that in a movie and it still be entertaining, I really like that. Because you'll be having this killer running around killing people, so you got a slasher film, with David Copperfield in it, doing magic tricks and stuff. So, pretty crazy stuff. So you got that. The end of the movie, you think that it's David Copperfield, but actually he's killed. You actually see that the trick they do where they put the swords in the box, but he's actually been stabbed. Because they put the person in the box, they put the swords through, but somehow they're still alive. Only it killed him for real. Not for real, but, in the movie, that was his death scene. And I think that's about it on the death scenes. The rest of the end of the movie is actually pretty good. I mean, you got the killer dressed like that, pretty creepy look, chasing Jamie Lee Curtis around. Jamie Lee Curtis, this movie does a really good job. Her screams are top notch. Still the scream queen in this movie, does some great screams, great lines, tough character, beats this killer up at times. Very well done chase scene where she's in this caged area and he's knocking out the lights in the ceiling to make it more dark. I enjoyed that. I like how at the end of the movie, it's very strange, but definitely a different idea where the killer, you think it's David Copperfield's female assistant, when really it's the nerd kid with makeup on and a wig on. So he was pretending to be David Copperfield's assistant somehow. And when you take a look at this killer, it's like one of those things where they got a female actress to play the character, and then real quick they switched out to a male character. I didn't buy that this killer was a nerdy kid who dressed up as a magician's assistant, who also wore masks and stuff. I don't know. I just I didn't really get that. Excuse me. I didn't really get that much. I was kind of like, what? I was like, why isn't it just you could just make the killer just not wearing makeup and a wig, just make him, snap. And I actually do appreciate that in this movie because a lot of slasher films you'll think it's some character right here, and it'll be a big mystery, and then it'll be a background character like Prom Night or My Bloody Valentine, which I love those movies. But I also really like it how on Slaughter High it actually was the original guy. It was the nerdy kid, and here it is the nerdy kid as well. I enjoyed that. And at the end of the movie, he snaps with Jamie Lee Curtis. He's chasing her around. She trips him off the train. He falls down and breaks into he falls down and then boom hits the ground. And pretty good death scene. The best death scene in the movie happens to the killer. And that's basically how the movie ends. But yeah, very, very entertaining film. Even though it does have some problems, I do think this movie does have a lot of good things to it. I think it has tremendous performances as far as acting goes. I think it has a great atmosphere. Very well directed. Very well written. Definitely has its own vibe to its own feel. Makes it separate from other slasher films. Very fast-paced film. Goes by in a flash. David Copperfield's in the movie. You got the killer looking like that, pretty cool. Looking like that. The witch costumes was pretty cool. I didn't really care for the lizard costume that he puts on, because throughout the movie he gets this lizard costume that doesn't look that good. But I kind of would have preferred if it was just that costume alone. But, I'm okay with it switching costumes. Made it different. But yeah, really enjoyed the movie. Very, very well done. If you guys haven't seen Terror Train, definitely recommend it. Very, very fun, entertaining slasher film. I want to thank Steve once again for sending me this movie. And it was a fun watch, and I can't wait to see The Prowler, and I can't wait to see some more of those Kong movies. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching my review on Terror Train. Thanks again, Steve, for getting me the movie and sending me the movie. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that, man. And, yeah. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching the review. The Explorer of Horror, out. See you guys later.